Oh, yeah.
Like, how much do you know?
There are some parts that are real janky. Real janky. Is that the Strokes?
Yeah, that's the Strokes.
Is it?
Show me some kind of grace here because these are difficult parts.
Welcome back to Aurora Music Works. If you've seen any of our recent videos, you will have seen that I've been giving Luca challenges of hearing Metallica for the first time, like ZZ Top. There's a couple of others in there. You can check them out on the channel by subscribing down below. This one's interesting because you came to me with a really cool concept, and you will have seen the title of this video, so you know what we're talking about. But what's more interesting is that I don't know this band very well. So we're kind of flipping it, where you've got 4 Strokes songs. We're going to dive into how they're recording the guitar parts. They're really cool. So what are we doing?
So yes, as you said, we're diving into the Strokes, which are one of my personal favorite bands. Because specifically from like a guitar point of view, because there's a lot of hidden genius in their songs, and I think they've got one of the most unique guitar kind of arrangements in rock music.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So we recorded all of the snippets before recording this, and you'll see them throughout this video. But it was difficult to keep my thoughts to myself, to save them for this while you were recording them, because there are some parts that are real janky, is what I'm going to say, real janky.
Yeah.
And you'll see.
Well, how much do you know of the Strokes? Just to give like people an intro, like how much do you know? Do you know anything?
Not really.
Which actually I know that you know, because every time I play, you start singing.
Last night!
Yeah, I know that you know that one.
Is that the Strokes?
Yeah, that's the Strokes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why did you choose that one?
I didn't choose it because it's...
because of that.
Everyone knows it, and also I just tried to focus... I've picked ones that I thought had some distinct guitar parts that we could like dissect and analyze.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's like the Britpop video where you at the end of it said, "Where's Oasis?" And I said that's why. Same reason. Okay, that's fair.
And you're saying "Where's Last Night?" But so another video.
So what guitars are we using in this video?
The reason I think that they're very unique in their guitar arrangements is because they've got 2 great guitar players in their band. One of the guitarists, Nick Valenci, is known for using a semi-hollow Epiphone.
Okay.
And so I decided to go with a Stromberg Fremont because that kind of covers the same ground, and it's a beautiful guitar.
It really is. I really like these. So my favorite one of these is actually the trans red with gold hardware. Still the Fremont because I love the double cutaway, but there's something about the red and the gold that I love. But these are stunning guitars and stunning semi-hollows as well. But that's not the only one that you have.
Yes, because the other guitar player, let me switch over to it now.
Okay.
The other guitar player, Albert Hammond Jr., he's known for playing a Strat, which is why I've gone with the Cream Tea LT Polaris in vintage white.
Yeah, because this is more affordable. And I mean, look at it. This is I think this is my favorite part of this range, the LT range, is this one.
Yeah, this is a popular one. The LT with the matching headstock is really cool. So as he's known for using a Strat, it just has stock, like single coil pickups. So what we can do with this one as well is just take out the humbuckers that come with it.
Yeah, and again, the best bit, because just look at that.
Yeah. And I'm gonna put in some single shots. So these are humbucker sized single coils that fit in. So I'm just gonna do that and bridge.
And if you get to try out the Guitar X pickup swapping system, just the magnetic clunk.
Yeah.
So good.
It's perfect.
So that's the guitars, the pickups. What's our first song?
Right, so our first song is from their second album. It's called Reptilia. This is one of the most well-known ones. I would have gone with something from the first album because basically all these songs are kind of across their discography. Not one from each album, but like just a range of different tunes. But I think the second album in particular has some of the most like prominent and complex guitar arrangements. So I've picked 2 from this album, and this one's called Reptilia.
Okay, here's what it sounds like. Okay, my first question. Do they actually play both of those parts live?
Oh yeah, that's... I mean, you saw how much I struggled with recording this. To be fair, a lot of these parts I had to learn just today in the few hours of prep for this video. So you have to give me some kind of grace. Show me some kind of grace here because these are difficult parts. But they play those. I mean, this is one of their most popular songs, so the crowd goes crazy for it, and they have to play it basically at every show. So they do play these parts live.
So Albert's part that you're playing on Polaris, That really reminds me, or at least it sounds like to me, like the story of Sweet Child of Mine, where that was Slash's warm-up. That's when you were recording that, I was like, surely that's got to be like a warm-up or something, because it's very intricate.
It is. I'll play it for a second, just at a slower tempo.
Like that on its own is not only crazy, but amazing exercise.
I also played it way slower than the original.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That's what's cool. It's like they are like a kind of, they're like an indie alternative rock band, but like with a pop appeal. Mm-hmm. But like you try to play that at full speed, and it's harder than a lot of like famous like rock/metal solos I've had to play.
It really is.
And it's on top of Nick's part, which is kind of another lead part as well. So one of the things that's interesting about the band is how they don't really like stack their guitar layers. They kind of like complement them, and they like interweave them to make a big just like wall of sound with two distinct parts.
Yeah, and you'll hear that a little bit in one of the other songs, because I'm just going off of where we recorded this before this video, and I'll say it when we get there, but there's one part, it's the harmonies, where they go together and they go away, and it makes you go like,
yeah.
But we'll get there in a second. We'll get there in a second.
Let me just grab the other guitar and I'll go through the other lead part, which is equally as, not as complex, but still equally as interesting.
And this is the famous bit.
Yes, this is the bit where, I mean, the whole song has like different, we haven't even talked about the main riff, which is like an iconic riff.
Yeah.
But this is the part where there's a big crescendo and then it cuts to just this guitar, and which leads into the chorus, which sounds like this.
And that is, you'd put that in the pile of iconic riffs. Like you hear that, you know exactly what it is, you know what to expect.
It's on Guitar Hero. It's on one of the Guitar Hero video games. That's how I first learned it. So
nice. That's it. End of video.
Yeah.
You made it Guitar Hero. It's fine.
But yeah, it's just such a cool part, and it's a good kind of like composition thing to keep in mind. So instead of just playing the chords, you can just play these. I mean, they are technically 2-note chords, but he's just playing B minor to F sharp minor to G to A, back to G, and then back to B minor there. But he's only using those two notes instead of full chords. Do you want to move on to the next tune?
Let's do it. There's two things that come to mind straight away. The first one is, and again, in a previous video that we did, where I think it was in the Britpop one, where you said the term jangly. Yes. This is what this reminds me of, it's jangly.
Yeah.
Is a lot more like happy, but the first chord reminds me of a Linkin Park song.
Oh, you're talking about the... Yeah, that's technically, it's a major chord.
There you go.
It's a 2-note major chord.
But I always find it interesting when you have songs like that have two very iconic sounds, so Linkin Park and The Strokes, and same chord, different song, but same rhythm, same tempo.
Yeah, could be because it's from similar eras. I mean, it's like this is like early 2000s, which was around when Linkin Park was kind of booming, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
So this song I've picked because I just think it's like I think the Strokes sound is like nostalgia and kind of melancholy as well.
It reminds me of The Beach. I couldn't tell you why.
Okay,
That's what.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like their songs are always like they're slightly sad even when they're happy, and they're slightly happy when they're sad.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I just think that again, similar to the previous song, there's like a break where it's just Nick Valenci playing this line, which I think is really nice. It's like a lead line, but also it's very melodic. It's basically like these kind of half chords, half melody lines, which I think are really nice. The other thing is when the other guitar kicks in, I think you pointed out that it does sound like quite clashy and busy, which is very true, which is kind of part of their like iconic sound is like the guitars are in such like similar space, that they occupy the same space, that they kind of become just one cluster chord, you know,
Yeah,
like
it's almost as if this is the bottom end of the chord, this is the top end, and it just basically creates this giant chord.
yeah,
Is the best way I can think about it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have it can sound quite dissonant at times because you can have even like one chord with a note that's like a semitone above what the other guitar player is playing, and so it sounds a bit like clashy, just their sound.
It is, yeah. And what's this guitar part doing? This is Albert's part.
It's quite simple. It's just a little melody line that really outlines the vocal melody as well. So.
I'd love to know what their songwriting process is to get to that point where he's thinking this will work over the top of this, because normally recording you have the two separate parts that are either playing the same thing so you have much more of a full sound, or like this where it feels like they're one part played by two people.
To be honest, I'm pretty sure for the first two albums the lead singer wrote everything. Like he wrote all the songs, but I think he also arranged all the guitar parts, all the bass parts, even the drum parts for the first two albums, which is kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
But it's also crazy that he then has two guitar players that are good enough to play all those parts at speed and, you know, in one take. In terms of like analyzing the harmony behind what he's playing, it's like even that it's like he's like kind of outlining a G major 9 or like a G add 9, and then I just think that's like sounds really nice because he's basically doing like a major 6 and then a major 7.
Yeah.
You don't just have to play chords to be a rhythm player. You can play these like melody lines that are outlining these really nice notes that complement the vocal line.
I like it. Song number 3. That is disgusting in the best way possible.
So this is where the band like kind of sounds a lot different to the first two examples we played. So they did like 3 albums and they took a hiatus, and then they came out with this album in 2011, I think. And it sounds a lot more electronic, a bit more synthy, a bit experimental in some places, but it just sounds a lot more digital.
It does, yeah.
And yeah, I chose this song because it was one of the really famous songs from the album, but also it starts off with that harmonizing guitar part, which you don't like hear a lot, especially not in 2011, like a kind of harmonizing guitar part where, again, they're like set, at some points they're like semitones apart, so it sounds so dissonant.
Because we've just come out of that era of like, if you take like alt rock, for example, where you've got these really polished, like double rhythm guitar parts sound full, they might have octaves on them, and then you're having all of this stuff that just sounds really, really nice. And then these guys come up with that. And it's like, that sounds nice, but I also sound like I'm scratching a chalkboard.
Yeah, I mean,
it's quite amazing, is what it is. It's genius.
And you heard me like trying to get this down. Like it took me a lot of practice. When I say that though, again, I just learned it today, so you have to give me a bit of credit there.
Nah.
But
no, it's fine.
I'll show you how it sounds on the Fremont, because Nick Valenci's part is quite interesting.
Because they start playing the same thing, and that's what I think I found amazing when I watched you record this, is that normally you'd have, if you record the same thing, normally it's because you're panning them left and right to have a full sound. This one, there's something about this specifically that is having it exactly on top of each other, and then they just go, whoop, like this. Yeah. With the harmony, it just really makes it quite special.
It starts with just like a B major triad, pretty simple, but then outlining a B major 7 chord, which is kind of cool, and then a C sharp minor triad,
and that's where you're starting to hear some of the dissonance as well.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like it's a cool composition technique again, like just outlining the chords, and then he's throwing in some kind of connecting melody lines, like. It's just cool. But the dissonance, the big dissonance happens when the other guitar is playing the same thing. So, but on top of that, you hear Nick going. So you have these two, let's see if I can play them at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Those two notes happening at the same time, and it's just like, it just sounds a bit out of tune when you hear the record, but it's cool.
I kind of love it. It's weirdly addictive. It's the best way I can describe it. I'm like, this is gross, but keep playing.
But then it gets also really challenging and interesting in the verses, because although it's not quite as dissonant, it's just kind of hard to play. He's playing, he's basically just arpeggiating the chords, so he's just going. Doing that, moving on to G sharp minor to E. But it's like doing that at speed is quite kind of like a string skipping exercise again. So I would say like they are quite underrated in terms of like if you learn arpeggios, triads, chords, like they're a really good band to get into.
Like I only now see this as complicated or technical, is probably the better word, after watching you try and record them. Because when you listen, you don't really think about it. And I think that's what's even more incredible about how they've done it, is just they've created something genius that's really quite hard to play, but doesn't sound it.
They play kind of like session players. Like they don't, although it sounds sometimes a bit like scrappy, like especially in the first two records, there's a lot of like thought that goes into what they play.
Yeah. Should we move on to the last song?
Yeah.
When did this one come out?
So this is from their most recent record, actually. Okay. So you can hear the kind of evolution in their sound. Like first two records, quite like garage rock, a bit punky. Then they go a bit more like poppy electronic. This came out in 2020 and it won, I think it won the Grammy for Best Rock Album. It's like combining all of their different eras into now it's full on like experimentation. So there's some songs on that album that sound like Pink Floyd. There's some songs that sound like a bit dancey, and then there's some that are like mellotron sounds and synth sounds that are really cool.
Watching you record this specifically, like the other few you could kind of get through in one or two takes, but this one took us like a few to do each section, mostly so it's clean and it sounds good, but also because they are quite involved parts. Like just this section that you've chosen, you could split that further into 4 different sections of guitar parts.
But yeah, it basically plays around with this kind of clean riff, which sounds like this. So again, he's kind of like outlining the chords. It's just like arpeggios. G minor arpeggio, just without the fifth. But that's again, dissonance there. Yeah. It's just like implying like a C7, which is like a F major. Just a D minor, but only playing the D and the A. And yeah, it's just like a really catchy, very twangy, plucky part. So the more like distorted part is got some delay on it, and it just like fits really well. It just opens with. So again, that's just like outlining this, just like a couple of arpeggios, and then. So just the same thing, a couple octaves up.
Yeah.
And then.
How that works with both guitar parts, doing essentially a call and response, kind of, is quite amazing. Because he's all over the neck.
Yeah, and it's like that very, very plucky sound. It's like so much pick attack, which makes it harder to play because I'm hitting the notes harder than I would probably usually do.
Yeah.
But it's just like getting that percussive element with your pick, which is just like a challenge, and it tires out your wrist.
It really is. So having done all of this, what would you say is the coin to the Strokes sound? Say I'm an original band and I want to make music like the Strokes. Any advice, any like tips having done this?
Yeah, I think like the main takeaways from like analyzing a lot of their music is from a guitar player's perspective, like creating like interlocking memorable rhythm parts, or just like lead/rhythm parts that complement each other and don't get in the way of like what the vocals are doing and like complement the vocals.
Yeah.
And then like really focusing on those interlocking parts. So like rather than stacking guitars and just like playing the same thing, try and play like melodic parts together, and you can pan each guitar hard left, hard right, and just see what you can come up with. Because I think they do a really good job of like not separating lead guitar and rhythm guitar. It's kind of just like one thing.
Yeah.
And then lastly, just having memorable guitar parts for each song section. So it's not like you save everything for the chorus or you save everything for the intro riff. It's like they have an intro riff, they have a verse riff, they have a pre-chorus and like a chorus section that each has its own part, which makes them like really fun to play. Like if you're in a, I don't know, if you want to cover them or you want to do your own arrangement of their tune, it's like, it's really fun because it's not like you're waiting for the fun part of the song. Each part of the song has like a distinct guitar part.
Yeah, for the guitars that we've used, this is the Cream Tea LT Polaris in vintage white. It's a personal favourite of mine. And you've got the Stromberg Fremont in antique violin burst. Again, I love these guitars. So you can check them out at auroramusicworks.com if you'd like to see more videos like this and challenges that I give Luca, and now Luca giving me education on how songs work. Then please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.